Next up, we have the very much awaited international speaker, Mr. Brad Schiller. He is the co-founder and the CEO of Prompt, the world leader in writing feedback. Previously, he was an engagement manager at McKinsey and an independent consultant to the Fortune 500 and private equity firms. He holds degrees in mechanical engineering and management sciences from MIT. Here, I would take this opportunity to talk a bit about his company. Prompt was founded in 2014 by three MIT grads to help students become better writers. Prompt realized quickly that college essays were a great place to start because students are invested in the writing and open to feedback. Prompt also happens to be the #1 provider of college admissions essay feedback and management, which works with hundreds of high school counselors directly managing feedback and management, which works with hundreds of high school counselors and many more via its other partners to support them in their effort of reviewing admissions essays and managing the large number of students applying to foreign universities. Prompts writing coaches provide on-demand personalized feedback on the higher order aspects of writing, that is content, structure, clarity, and grammar. Prompt has trained thousands of counselors on its approach to working with students and providing feedback on admission essays. Prompt is now designing writing curriculum which can be delivered as a supplement to schools courses outside our regular school system or as a 4-credit course. The unique value Prompt provides is that students go through the draft and review process, which means students get feedback on each piece of writing from Prompt's writing coaches and implement the feedback over multiple drafts. Writing research shows this as the most effective way to improve writing skills. Let's learn more about it from the man himself. Please welcome Mr. Brad. We welcome
thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm really excited to be here. I love India, the country, the people, everything about it. And, I am a firm believer that, and what we'll be talking about mostly today, is that writing is actually the single most important skill in the entire world that we need to improve, and is really the critical skill to our future. Okay, so that's the real premise of today. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about how can we actually improve our writing skills? How can we actually improve our written communication skills, both for students and for professionals? Okay, that's going to be like the primary focus of the session today. We have some awesome content to cover. Hopefully at the end, we'll be able to take a few questions from the audience as well. We'll have a few slides during this and visuals and all sorts of fun things like that. But as I said, the single most important thing or takeaway from today, as we're going to be talking through this, is that writing is the single most important skill for the future. And actually poor writing today, which the vast majority of the world has, is actually one of the biggest problems in the entire world today. Because actually what poor writing does is it actually holds the world back. Poor writing is actually slowing the velocity of actually being able to get big, meaningful things done in the world. And so what I mean by that is like, if you actually don't understand what somebody is saying to you, somebody is writing to you, then how are you actually going to understand their ideas? How are you going to understand how they're thinking? And how are you going to actually understand what needs to be done and what you can personally do or need to do or other people need to do to get something done? So what ends up happening, and I've experienced this because I've been a consultant for many large corporations, small startups, been in a startup, all that sort of stuff. What I see is that big ideas are often, and especially in larger companies, they're lost and disregarded specifically because the people that have them are not able to communicate them in a way that executives or their team members can actually understand and implement. And that's really because of poor writing. And it's really, poor writing is also the cause of misunderstanding basically between people, which causes a lot of unnecessary conflicts, and which makes it really hard to get actually big, meaningful things done in the world. So I've seen all of this firsthand. right? So give you a little bit of my story and background. So after I graduated from MIT, I went to work for McKinsey. And when I got there, I quickly realized that I was an absolutely terrible, terrible, terrible writer. But I found myself getting better on a daily basis because I was actually getting feedback from people, from my McKinsey colleagues, who were both subject knowledgeable in what I was writing about, but also had a lot of written communications experience. At the same time, I actually realized that most of my job, or a huge portion of my job, was actually speaking with employees and management at companies and really understanding them, right? Understanding their ideas, and then actually translating those ideas and communicating those ideas into something that the executive team could actually understand so we could go and execute on it. So one way to look at it, and one way to look at my job and what I was doing is that I was brought in because employees had ineffective written communication skills to be able to put their thoughts down on paper or on the screen or in a meaningful way that the executive team could actually take that, understand it, make decisions, and then be able to execute on that. So this kind of brings me to like the first point that we're going to talk about today that is really critical. And there's like going to be 4 key takeaways from this session. But the first one is that writing is actually a lot more than grammar. Okay. So what I mean by that is, let's see if I can actually get the slides to function here. So writing is a lot more than grammar. And what I mean by that is that the grammar part of this, which is like the spelling, your syntax, your sentence level writing, is actually one of the least important parts of the entire writing process. The single most important part is actually the higher order aspects of writing, because writing is not really about grammar. Writing is about structured thinking. And what I mean by that is it's about the quality of thought. It's about the content that's used, the structure that's used, the clarity that's used. And that is a really, really important point, is that we need to stop as a society thinking of writing or good writing as just grammar, as knowing where to put commas, as knowing sentence structures, etc. What we really need to think about is that writing is just a mechanism for helping structure our own thoughts in a way that other people can then take those thoughts and understand them, right? And thus get big, meaningful things done in the world. So that's like the really most important thing that we think about when we do writing. Now, when you actually look at this and you think of like companies and like what their superpowers are, or like what are really important things to actually think about, is that, you know, I always use the example of Amazon. Okay, so Amazon, for them, writing is actually their superpower. That's how they're able to get so many things done, big, meaningful things done in a relatively short period of time. And other companies that I've worked with do not have this superpower. So I always like to talk a little bit about what Jeff Bezos, actually back in 2017, he wrote a shareholder letter, which he writes every year. And he actually talks very explicitly about writing there. And I'm going to pull out a couple of points. So Jeff Bezos says, we don't do PowerPoint or any other slide-oriented presentations at Amazon. So they actually have banned that. Okay? They've completely banned that. So Bezos goes on to say, instead, we write narrative-structured 6-page memos. We silently read one at the beginning of each meeting in kind of a study hall. Not surprisingly, the quality of these memos varies widely. Some have the clarity of angels singing. They are brilliant and thoughtful and set up the meeting for high quality discussion. Sometimes they come in at the other end of the spectrum. And he goes on to say, often when a memo isn't great, it's not the writer's inability to recognize the high standard, but instead a wrong expectation of scope. They mistakenly believe a high standard 6-page memo can be written in 1 or 2 days or even a few hours, when in reality it might take a week or more. So what's fascinating here, when you really dissect it, which is going to tie into the next point we're going to talk about today, is that writing is really about structured thinking, right? Writing is really helping codify all of an individual's thoughts into something that they could present and something that somebody else can read and relatively easily understand. So Amazon Prime, which is like a subscription service, actually started as one of these 6-page memos. Pretty much everything Amazon does that's big and meaningful in any sort of way, shape, or form actually starts as this. And it takes a long time to put these together because you're really trying to like take all your thoughts, take all the analysis, take everything that you're really doing associated with something and present a meaningful case behind it. Now you look at other companies, they're not doing that, right? So they're throwing together presentations at the last minute. They're struggling to really communicate thoughts and ideas. I learned this firsthand, right, when I was at McKinsey and as an independent consultant. And what we really need to do is actually focus on how can we improve the writing feedback, writing skill, right? How can we actually help people really go through and make writing great? And that really applies for both the student level as well as professionals, because you need to solve writing at the student level in order to even get to the point where people have adequate writing skills for the workforce. And then you need to continue to improve those skills within the workforce. So it's really about like this holistic system for improving writing skills. And what's great is that all of the writing research, all of the writing research that exists in the world basically points to a single philosophy for improving writing, whether or not you're a student or a professional, whether or not you're a college applicant or in an MBA program, whether or not you're trying to get a job, at any point basically in your life, whether or not that's as your professional life or even in your personal life when you're texting and communicating and causing all sorts of misunderstandings with people that leads to passive aggressive behaviors and all sorts of stuff. There's a single way to actually think about improving writing skills, which is the philosophy of deliberate practice. Okay. And so what deliberate practice actually looks like for writing, so I will pull up now. What deliberate practice actually looks like for writing is this, right? So deliberate practice is basically systematic practice where you are kind of actually thinking about everything that you're doing actually in that process. So when you think about it from the perspective of writing, you actually need to do the pre-writing process, which basically is like thinking deeply about content and structure and pulling all of your ideas and everything together in some sort of meaningful way and generally developing an outline for everything before you actually start writing a draft. Then actually after you've written something, you actually need to receive instructional and actionable feedback from somebody who ideally has some sort of knowledge about what you're writing about, but also a lot of written communication experience where they can actually comment on content, structure, and clarity rather than just like sentence level grammatical stuff. Then you actually have, somebody actually has to take that feedback and revise their writing based off of that feedback. And then they need to go through that receiving and revising feedback loop again before actually turning it in, right? And for students, they'll receive a grade. For professionals, they'll actually, use it ideally to move something forward and to get ahead. But this actually needs to apply for any situation, whether or not you're writing a presentation, an essay, one of these 6-page memos, one of these, even just an email. This is how we need to actually be thinking about our writing in order to actually improve it and make it better and make it clear. And this is the process that I actually go through for everything that I do, right? Every big meaningful thing that I do, I am constantly going through the receiving and revising feedback loop for writing. Now, what's fascinating about that is actually today, the entire world's education system is actually not structured to support writing, and our professional world is not structured to support writing either in writing improvements, because the critical receiving and revising feedback loop basically does not exist. It doesn't exist in our education system. It doesn't really exist in the professional world because it's really time intensive, and people also don't want to create conflict in the professional world and say, oh, your writing is not great, or I don't understand this, or how can we actually make that writing better? It takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort. And for students, it's the same issue. So we end up completely eliminating the single most important part of deliberate practice, the actual practice. The actual getting feedback and acting on that feedback. That's the critical learning part of this whole process. Not to mention the pre-writing process doesn't do a great job generally either. We do a reasonable job sometimes within education, getting students to actually think a little bit about their writing before they write a draft. But most people, I bet if you think about on a daily basis, if you have to write something, you're probably not writing an outline before you write it. You may not even be thinking or structuring your thoughts before you write something. You just kind of start writing it and then you send it off. And that's not really the best strategy for actually improving writing skills. You might eventually get to the point where you can do that for, less important things, but for anything that's important, you really should be going through this entire process. Now, when we actually look at it from the education standpoint, which we spend a lot of time on, is that you need to do this feedback in a really specific and certain way. And what that is that what we talked about before is that feedback is like writing is not grammar, right? Grammar is a means, it's a set of rules, right, that helps us understand what somebody is thinking. And what most people do is they provide feedback on grammar, and that's not the significant part of the value. So what we do is we provide feedback on content structure and clarity. Yeah, we do some grammatical stuff as well. But as you see on the left here, this is the type of feedback that we provide, that we train our writing coaches to actually provide. And we also train other educators and college counselors for admissions essays, for example, to provide this type of high quality feedback to students, and then eventually we'll be doing for professionals to make them make people actually better writers through this process. So on the left here, you see what we'll do is we'll provide a lot of feedback. All this blue text is actually feedback that we provide that helps somebody get along the process of improving their entire essay. So we're commenting on what didn't I learn from reading this that I actually wanted to learn? What did I actually learn from the whole process? And does that match with what the audience is actually looking for? And then what is an example outline? What can I follow to actually improve all of these writings and all of these skills? So writing education, actually, the entire world is not set up actually to support writing education. It's just not. And that's because it's actually set up to support like math or science or history. And because writing actually requires a significant amount of time to actually implement deliberate practice within the classroom. And so what educators don't have is enough time to actually provide high quality instructional feedback on writing. So a typical teacher here in the United States, and I know it's even more in India, has 150 students. So every time you give a writing assignment to a student, it'll take that teacher might spend 5 minutes grading it, maybe marking up a couple of grammatical things. Every time they do that, every time they give an assignment, it takes 13 hours to just do one-on-one instruction to actually grade that assignment and provide a little bit of feedback. And most teachers don't even require the students to actually act on that feedback. But what's really needed to actually improve writing skills for students is to actually do about 30 minutes per essay across multiple revisions of those essays, which equates to 75 hours for those 150 students, which is not possible in the way our current education system is structured. So what we do and how we think about this is we need to provide personalized, individualized learning supports alongside of writing, English writing education classes, and then actually enable the teacher to get as much capacity for their students on demand for essay feedback, for writing feedback as possible. And that we've actually found greatly and rapidly improves student writing skills. Even in a course that's as little as like 4 to 8 weeks, you can greatly improve student writing skills when they're actually going through this whole deliberate practice process associated with writing. Okay? So this is really critical, especially as we're thinking about the education system here in the United States, the education system in India, the education system globally. This is a critical piece that we have to solve. We have to solve it. And we are solving that problem. We're also working on solving that problem for professionals. But this is the critical piece. And we have to do this in order to actually improve writing skills. So what we do is we actually marry curriculum instructional design with these personalized, individualized writing feedback supports, asynchronous writing feedback. We also do coaching calls to actually help students get started, like on a 1-on-3 basis, to get students started actually with their writing through that pre-writing process that we just showed. So that way they can actually go through that whole deliberate practice process. So next, we're going to talk about, there's 2 other kind of critical things that we're going to talk about today before we kind of get to and wrap things up. So first is that when we need to think about kind of how do we think about or use or apply writing kind of in our everyday world. So first is and a key lesson that I've learned over the years is that anytime that you are reading something, that somebody else has written, you need to always assume that they had the best intent when they were writing it. Because what we often find is that we misinterpret what other people write. So there's some great research that came out of actually out of Harvard recently that showed that about 50% of all written communications are misinterpreted for tone. So in other words, even if we think we know somebody and we're reading it and we think we're reading it in their voice, we're actually misinterpreting it for the tone that they actually meant, which means that a lot of times we're thinking that they actually mean something else than they actually meant. So what we do, or what I do, and I always recommend this, is anytime you read something, you always want to assume that the person had the best intent while writing it. Don't think that they're being, passive aggressive. Don't think that they're being mean, right? Don't think that they're being like relatively curt when they write like a short message. Instead, what we want to do is we always want to think that the other person had the best intent in mind while they're actually doing this, or while they're actually writing something. And when you read something while thinking somebody has the best intent, you probably are actually reading it the right way. Okay. And we find, and I saw this all the time as a consultant working companies. I see this all the time in my personal life where I see people that are texting and like miscommunicating via the written word all the time, is that if you just assume that they have the best intent, think about like what their motivations could be in the best possible way, you're going to move through life much better, number one, and happier. But number two is that you will actually do things the right way and you'll actually be able to move stuff ahead much faster. So that's a really important lesson. So always assume the best intent when you're reading somebody that something is writing. Secondly, is when you're writing something, obviously you want to go through the deliberate practice process, but what's really, really important there, and actually the key thing, is to always think about who your audience is and what your audience cares about and what they want. So we do a lot of work with college admissions essays. We provide feedback on 10 times as many college admissions essays as any other company in the world. And what we often find is that students when they're writing their essay, they actually don't understand the purpose of the essay. Like, why are they even writing this? Like, what is the point of it? They have no idea. And so what you actually need to do is you actually need to instill the mindset in the student of, here's what the audience is looking for. Here's what we're actually trying to accomplish, which in the case of writing an admissions essay is the entire purpose of it is to prove that you're going to be successful in college and after you graduate. That's the purpose of it, right? So everything that you're doing there needs to prove that, because that's what admissions officers want to know. They want to know that you're going to be successful in college. They want to know that you're going to graduate. They want to know that you're going to go do meaningful things in the world and have a positive impact on the world. That's what they want to know. And what we find is that most students actually don't understand that, right? They don't understand what their audience is actually looking for. And in the professional world, that's the same thing. They don't understand. If you don't understand what your audience is looking for, how are you going to write something? How are you going to write something that they're going to be able to actually understand? So the first step that I always do in any writing that I do, I think about what is the audience looking for, and what am I trying to accomplish, and what does the audience actually need to know in order to actually accomplish that. So if you do these kind of like three things, right? You do deliberate practice, you always assume the best intent when you're reading something from other people, and you're always thinking about your audience when you're writing something, that is going to greatly improve your writing skills. And this is the exact thing that we need to actually deploy for both students and for professionals, and really kind of like, in every aspect of your life. So that's the main thing, the main points that I wanted to cover today. We'll just kind of wrap up now. I'll see if there's any questions that came in that maybe we'll be able to take relatively quickly. I want to, and said, like, give a big shout out also to the team that put all this together, the G3 team. So G3 team. So thank you all very much. And just like a quick note on like what we do, right? We are focused on, like, we work with a lot of like admissions essays for undergrad, graduate applications. We focus on writing skills improvement courses actually for students and professionals. And we actually do a lot of work directly with educational institutions now to really actually deliver writing courses that actually integrate all of these like writing supports and supplement like the deliberate practice that is there. You can find out more information at prompt.com. You can also just message me with any thoughts, anything. Mark Agarwal is also our director over in India, and you can message him at mark@prompt.com with any thoughts or questions about what we're talking about today. And you know, our mission, right, is to make people better writers, kind of across the world. And I think that for India and like what you're all trying to accomplish in the world, which I think you have, like India has the biggest. I mean, which is why like it's the first country that we're operating in actually outside of the United States. Has probably the biggest, most potential of any country in the world to actually have a meaningful impact on where the world is headed. And what really matters to do that is to actually bring in, right, these writing skills, improve written communication skills, and that will enable everybody to be more successful in life, uplift the country, and have great success. So thank you all very, very much. And if we have time, I'll take.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out your valuable time and delivering this wonderful speech and sharing your experience with our lovely audience. So we would like to present an e-certificate for you, sir. Please accept our certificate.
All right, thank you.
I request the coordinator to please present the certificate for sir. Just a moment, sir. We'll be right back. Until that time, sir, you can take some questions from our audience.
Yes, sorry, Sonia. I think there is a network problem for you. Certificate has been issued, actually.
Yeah, it's been issued. I was going to say,
I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that. Actually, she has a network issue, so she's not able to get that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time.
All right, thank you. Do you want me to answer a few questions, or no? We can just end it. I know it's getting kind of late there.
So you can take. I mean, you can take 1 to 2 questions if you want.
Okay, happy to do that. Let me just kind of take a look at the questions that have come in here really quick. Yeah, so we had just like a couple of questions here. So, you know, humans will be replaced by robots in the coming 8 years. So this is actually, you know, one of the reasons that actually why we do this is that there's something uniquely human about writing. Now there's some AIs that have come out recently that write some pretty interesting things, but you know, the way that we look at it is there's going to be increasing automation, especially in a lot of industries where there's a lot of repetitive tasks, right? And so when we think about like all the industries of the future, which is more moving and more to a knowledge economy, writing becomes more and more of a critical skill. And what we find is that like writing feedback or actually improving writing skills is not something that actually technology is able to do today. And there needs to be a massive technological leap in order to actually make that even happen. So really the human element of all of this is really critical in terms of doing this. And then we have, take one more thing here. What are your suggestions for a writer to improve on his or her creativity or acquire new ideas to write new things? So I always look at this like the single best way to do this is actually to improve writing skills, to do a lot of reading, right? And to do a lot of thinking. So it's really to actually like comprehend what you're reading and then actually tie that to other things that you're reading or other ideas or thoughts that you've had, and then actually to write that down. So oftentimes what I do is when I'm reading through like any sort of interesting article that I see, one is I bookmark that because I want to save it. But number two is I might actually write down like some notes about it, as well as like what was my thinking at the time when I read that. And so I do this a lot with like different like new launches of products or businesses, or especially stuff in the education industry, where I see things that I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. Like, how do I think about it? And how would I interpret it? Or how would I interpret what they're doing or where they're going or what they're thinking about? And that can really help you start really kind of generating these different ideas and different ideas about what you can do to actually improve what they're working on or what they're doing. So it's really about like building that, using writing as a way to collect your thoughts or to really like detail your thoughts in a way that, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be bullet points. Your grammar doesn't really matter necessarily, right? It's really just about to like start structuring your ideas and structuring your thoughts. So just those were the couple of questions. I know there were some other good ones, but that really jumped out at me that I wanted to just cover briefly. But thank you all very much for having me. This was wonderful. I had a great time. And I look forward to seeing everybody in India once I'm allowed to actually travel to the country. So.
Thank you. We are pleasure to welcome you to India, sir.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you. So, our lovely audience, here we come to the end of the first day of our 3-day conference. Today, we gained so much knowledge and there is a lot you will take back from here. And I hope you come back again tomorrow with the same energy to grow and learn something. As we all know that learning is an ongoing process and the journey is never ending, there's always going to be growth, improvement, adversity when it comes to learning. So here, I would like to thank everyone, our lovely audience, and a special thanks to our guests and the speakers for their valuable time and for sharing their views and thoughts with us and enlightening us all. Thank you so much, everyone, and let's continue to grow by meeting each other tomorrow as well. Let's all come together to build India and serve the world. But before we sign off, we have a few announcements for you. So please listen to them carefully. Ms. Namni can take over from here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Sonia. You were really great. Thank you very much for all those wonderful work done since morning. Thanks to the MC team and thanks to Naina, Joel, Ayush, and yourself. Thank you very much. All right, so audience, I'm really very happy and excited because we are coming to the end of day 1, and it's my pleasure in thanking all the speakers. And before which, I would like to thank you all because you have been very, very supportive, very, very, I should say very, very bubbly and always, replying in the chat and commenting and throwing and pouring your love. That was amazing to see that energy, and we felt that really. Thank you very much. And we know that we had amazing speakers since morning, and of course we would like to thank all those wonderful speakers who were awe-inspiring and thought-provoking, and they were like quite powerful with their sessions, and I'm sure you will agree with me, right? And in fact, I should say the speakers, panelists who light on those topics and by enlightening the minds that came in search of knowledge food. So we all came for knowledge, and we had that, knowledge explosion, I should say. So today it was amazing, and thank you very much to all the speakers. And now let me take some time in thanking everyone who also reiterating the speaker and we will get to know that maybe probably people who might have joined right YouTube because they have live, and so that will be there for years together now. So even if you have missed watching the YouTube. Alright, so I'm going to thank the speakers. So we had so I would really like to thank Mr. Randeep Singh, National Director of World Book of Records Australia, who graciously accepted our invite and being guest of today. Thank you very much, sir. And who is also
Nandini, sorry to interrupt, Nandini. Your voice is breaking actually. So maybe you can go for a quick thank note for the speakers. Voice is breaking very badly. Yeah. Or else you can turn off your video and you can continue.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Is it clear? Okay. Better. Okay. Yes. So we would like to thank Mr. Randeep Singh Kohli, the International Director of World Book of Records Australia, who is also the grandchild of former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, chief guest. We all know that Dr. Shahid Jalal, who is the founder, Mission 3G Humanitarian and Egalitarian, who talked about the employment ecosystem. and thanks to Dr. Mr. Stephen nature framework. He was also very thanks to him for accepting our invite. Thank you, Mr. Stephen Paul Rodolph. And next speaker, our keynote speaker, Mr. who is the Chief Strategy Officer, Mindler, and professionally trained from Harvard University and India's leading life and career coach, who talked about shaping the career guidance landscape in India, need for over 1.5 million career coaches. That was an awesome and thankful to Parishik Danda. And and it was on the topic importance of career counseling and psychometric tests in India, which was moderated by Dr. Amanullah Khan, the director knowledge and learning at Big Ways. And we had amazing panelists to start with Mr. Uh, and we had Ms. Mala Mary Martina, who is the CEO of I Love Mondays, and we had Mr. of iDream Career for Growth and Learning Department, and Mr. Naufal Ali, who is the co-founder at Hikewise, and Mr. Armo, who is the Unity Business Head for Global Career Counselor Online an amazing session, and post which we had the career avenues in India, aviation and logistics and leadership talk, which was given by Hemant DP, who is a Chief Executive Officer of Asia Pacific Flight Training Academy Limited. And we are thankful to him as well for giving us such a wonderful session. And post which we had the emotional intelligence topic, which was spoken by Mr. Robert Giras, author of Mind Matters and the Emotional Intelligence Quotient. So we are thankful to Mr. Robert Giras for being very gracious enough to accept our invite. And then came the panel discussion, which was a topic of the future of higher education during and post COVID-19, which was moderated by Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari, who is the National Source of MAV. And we had amazing panelists, Dr. Mohit Gambhir, Innovation Director, and Dr. Ramesh Unnikrishnan, Director of AICTE, Dr. Manpreet Singh, and we also had Dr. Manoj Tiwari and Professor Nizam. So thank you very much to all these panelists for making the session so interactive. And last but not the least, we had Mr. Brad Schiller, who talked about writing is the most important skill for the future. So who is the co-founder and CEO of Prompt, the world leader in writing feedback. So thank you very much to all these speakers, and we are honored and privileged to have you on board. Thank you very much. And over to you, Tamil.
Before we proceed further, of course, we need to invite one more person. Incidentally, he's a speaker for tomorrow as well. He would like to share a lot of insights about today's session and what we can expect tomorrow. So without any delay, and of course, I request all the audience who are here to stay back for another 5 or 10 more minutes, because always any of the session, once the session is over, they think what we discuss at the end, that's very important. So I would like to welcome Dr. Maharaja Subramanian, who is a blogger, speaker, coach, and consultant, to just address the gathering to set a prelude for tomorrow's session. Welcome, Doctor.
So thank you, Tamar, and hi, everybody. So let me begin with today's session. I hope I'm audible properly and my video is also clear.
Yes,
perfect, Doctor.
Yeah. Okay, let me just adjust my video a little bit. Okay. So if we look at, we had a wonderful day one for the day today, and we had an amazing lineup of speakers starting from Mr. Kohli to Dr. Shahid Cholel coming and talking about AI and psychology, and then we had wonderful insights in terms of the robotics and what's going to happen in terms of the future, how much artificial intelligence is also can be a beneficial tool and technology for all of us. And then we had Mr. Prakshit Danda from Mindler coming in and sharing in his insights in terms of career counseling and all those things, and from his vast experience of more than 2 decades. And then we had an amazing panel of speakers coming up in terms of different care counseling platforms and all those things, from Hikewise to iDream Career to Mindler to I Love Monday and Univariety and all those people. And they were really gracious enough to come and share some of the best insights in terms of what next. what's the need of career coaching and how we can take it forward. And one question that was repeatedly being asked from then is, how can I become a career coach? How can I become a career coach or a career counselor? And that's what the most important thing that we are going to be addressing tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, the most important session, actually the theme of the entire session, I, along with Dr. Shahid Cholail and Irfana, will be presenting to you about the 3G Me Life platform. Okay, so we'll be understanding in terms of the business model, in terms of how you can become a career coach, what are the tools and technologies and the methodologies in which 3G IRPS can support you and make you an individual brand. And that is for some of you who may be looking in for becoming a better career coach, who is already a career coach and looking to become a better career coach, and for some people who are looking in for making a transition and taking up career coaching as a field, as a career. So that's going to be an interesting and amazing session happening up over 2 hours tomorrow morning. And apart from that, we also have two amazing panel discussions tomorrow happening. One is about education abroad, and another one is about what's the next in terms of the higher education. We also have an eminent speaker, Dr. G.V. Kumar, coming in and talking about psychometric assessments. So that's going to be an interesting session in the afternoon post lunch. We also have a speaker by name Dr. Shrimati Kesan, who is going to speak about different aspects of entrepreneurship and also a couple more interesting surprises waiting for you all. So yes, some of you were asking the question. In fact, I received some of the people sending in some WhatsApp messages to me asking that, yes, we had shared about how to earn six-figure income working from home with no marketing worry. So if you are looking for freedom, security, passion, pleasure, and if career coaching seems to be a calling for you or a potential calling for you, and you want to impact millions of lives, and you would like to do it along with 3G Me Life, then please do ensure that you along with your friends are present for the meeting at sharp 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. And that's what we are going to be covering up and discussing about tomorrow in an extremely detailed presentation in terms of the blue book, where a lot of people kept on asking, what's the blue book? It's an encyclopedia set. Yes. At the same time, what is it speaking about? Like thousands of careers. What is it speaking about? Tens of different industries. That we will have a detailed, in-depth discussion. So that's number one. Number two, we'll also be looking at in terms of some of the advanced certification options available for people over here. Okay, for people who want to become career coaches, we'll be discussing about the same, and we'll be coming up with some interesting announcements, something which is revolutionary and is going to for sure going to be impacting millions of lives. And if you want to be part of that movement, that mission, where you want to take the ownership and responsibility and contribute for building India to serve this entire world, then please be sure to dial in tomorrow. Okay, so that's what it's going to be, and I'm really excited and looking forward to talking with you all, to connecting with you all. And please do keep on sending your feedback forms, your questions, and all those things. And it's going to be an amazing and interesting power-packed day tomorrow. So looking forward to connect with you all, and thank you once again for being part of this wonderful day of learning. And we are just going to now take it to an entirely different level tomorrow. That's going to be on day 2. What we said today is the foundation. We are going to take it up tomorrow, where we are going to take it to an entirely different level, to the next level, and then take it from there. Okay, and once we complete it, then we'll also be looking at taking it over in terms of new age careers on day 3. So looking forward to having each one of you tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Please be on time at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Please finish your breakfast, and please do have your pen and paper to take notes. And we are going to come up with some really amazing offers and opportunities tomorrow for people who are looking for earning a 6-figure income with no marketing worry and working from home at your comfortable time. This is Dr. Maharaja Subramanian signing off. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Doctor. And yes, of course, officially our event is over today. However, for the want of the audience who just want to stay back for the networking or to get more information, we are here for another 5 to 10 minutes so that we can clarify rest of the doubts. Like what are the announcements we have been giving since a morning, like how to get the certificate, because you have been asking so many questions again and again. And of course, we are ready to answer them. So first primary thing, what you can do is joining the WhatsApp group because we are sharing all the communication in the WhatsApp group. So I have been sharing the phone number again and again, but anyway, I'll show that once again in the whiteboard also, you can make a note of the number. So if you have got connected with us, that is the easiest way. Any doubts you have, even after the conference, you can be in touch with us. Second, what are the certificates you are going to get here? First one would be Career Counseling Foundation Certificate, for which after the 3 days webinar, you'll be writing a test that is MCQ, multiple choice questions. And if you clear that, I'm sure everyone would clear that. It will be quite easy if you're going to attend the session properly. So you'll be getting that certificate. Second one would be for the certificate for attending Artificial Intelligence and IR 4.0, that is Industrial Revolution 4.0. You are entitled to get that certificate. Third one is the World Book of Records London certificate, for which you need to attend all these 3 days and you have to keep reviewing every session. That is, once the session is over, you need to fill in the form. Even if you don't find time, at least at the end of the day, now the session is over, you can take some time, fill in individual form. Every form has the speakers list. You can select the speaker name. Same way, if it's a panel discussion as well, we'll request you to give a review for each and every panelist. For example, in a panel, you would have had 5 persons or 6 persons. So you take a form, you fill all of the details, select the speaker, submit it, and once again, open the same form. I mean, same form, the sense, same link. Same link is going to be there for all the 50 speakers. We are going to have more than 50 speakers. So this is the method to get the certificate, a World Book of Records certificate. You'll be paying 250 rupees directly to them through the link what has been shared to you. So these are the things related to certificate. And if you ask me what is the benefit of having this certificate, we have been showing that video again and again. And if needed, maybe I'll show that once again before you sign up, or again as the first thing tomorrow morning. So this is regarding the certificate. And regarding what are those career opportunities, what are the income earning opportunities, as Dr. Marja said, we are going to see a lot of session tomorrow about Blue Book and a lot more career opportunities. These are the things. And this is happening here in Zoom, and also it's getting live streamed in YouTube channel as well. Whoever has got the link today, you can use the same link tomorrow as well. For the Zoom, you'll use the same link. For YouTube, you can subscribe to the channel Dr. Shahid Sohail. It will be live streamed there itself. And also, if you like this program, please do share it with your friends also, friends and relatives whom you think this is going to be really helpful. Because this situation, the pandemic situation, is not only because of COVID or Corona. In fact, even if it has not yet come, most of the careers are under risk, like what we'll be discussing it tomorrow as well. And certain things Dr. Shahid discussed in the morning also. Everything is keep changing. So you have to keep yourself updated in terms of career or in terms of your personal life, whatsoever it is. So definitely, please do join us for the next 2 days. I'm sure a lot of you are working. So probably Saturday, maybe you would have been busy. But tomorrow being Sunday, we would expect everyone to log in on time. That is sharp at 10 o'clock. We'll start. We maintain the time. We wanted to start sharp at 10 a.m. So after this, beyond this, if you still have any questions, feel free to ask us. We will leave the chat box open for another 5-10 minutes. Maybe we can play some of the videos for you. You can also share your feedback over here. And also, I'd like to thank all the MC team and all the volunteers team who have been working since morning actively for this event. But actually, they have been working for the last couple of weeks for this event to put up such a great show. We had more than 15,000 subscriptions, 15,000 registration for this event. So Nandini, if your voice is okay now, maybe if your internet connection, probably you can share some more insights about this.
Yeah, thank you, Tamar. Is my voice okay? Clear, audible?
Okay, in case if it breaks badly, probably I will come back in. Yeah.
All right, superb. So yes, as you said, like the MC team, they have done a great job. Bring the interns, they have got trained just in 2 days, and they have done amazing job. Thank you very much to all those wonderful MCs. So to name them, Joel, Naina, Sonia, and Ayush. Thank you very much, guys. And our interns, other interns who are very swiftly and quickly, and they're very interactive and they're very fast. So they're also working there as an event support team, and we are very thankful to them. So extremely thankful to them. Thank you to all those interns who are doing such a wonderful work in collating many good information at the back end. So thank you very much to all those people who have registered actually. So we don't know like all the 15,000 people have participated today or not, but then I'm sure that maximum people have participated, because this is going to be the best session that they are attending. So I'm sure that they would have participated. I'm really happy welcoming on the day 2. So in case some of who join probably likes to be or tend to be your friends, please do inform them today about the today's session, so that they will attend for tomorrow, because that's going to be really valuable session that's awaiting for you. And Okay, so one more good thing that I would insist here is since we are going live in YouTube, people who are also watching in YouTube. So thank you very much for being very patient till evening. So we'll meet you tomorrow, and you can also join in the Zoom link because you would also be would have also received the Zoom link. So you could always join in case the Zoom overflows. Probably you can go to the YouTube and watch there. Yeah, thank you so much.
And yes, thank you, Nandri. And also, I could see some of the chat questions like, I made the payment, but I have not got it. Any response? Any sort of things, definitely. Please make a note of this phone number. I have put it in the whiteboard over there. You can just make a note of it. Save the number immediately. So hardly you're going to take 10 to 15 seconds. Save it as 3G IRPS also can save it. And you can message in WhatsApp. We'll be replying to you because sometimes we have been getting a lot of questions here in the chat. Please don't think that we have ignored your question. That's the reason we have been giving the WhatsApp number. So anything you can share in the WhatsApp number. Even if you are not getting reply today, definitely in the next 2 days you'll be getting, because we have been getting so many calls and so many messages as well, and we have been handling it. So we request your patience for a while so that our technical team would be getting back to you, whatever the queries you have. So please do join the WhatsApp group. Thank you so much once again. Meet you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. So for the next 5-10 minutes, let me play some of the videos so that you can have a look at it. And those who are running short of time, please feel free. You can log out. And those who still have time, if you want to see what's happening here, you can go ahead and watch it. And also my suggestion for best practice would be, if you have a mobile Wi-Fi data or a broadband, I would request you to come on the calls. Come on the Zoom using the Wi-Fi data or broadband, because I'm sure that if you're using a mobile data, it gets exhausted. In fact, some of our team members, they have been keep on recharging and they have been coming again and again for that. So best practice would be using the Wi-Fi. And for the panelists, once again, we'd like to thank everyone. And also we are looking forward to having a great day tomorrow morning. Thank you so much. MC Thamarasan signing off, along with MC Nandini Aravindan from Chennai Event MCs, Entertainers and Professionals, along with the entire MCing and the volunteering team and the interns from 3G IRPS.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for watching it. And also, before we close, we'd like to take some audio feedback also, as we gave instruction in the morning. Like people, when you come as attendees, you'll be able to only send the messages. However, we'd like to give opportunity for some of you to talk. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lower all the hands that have been raised up now. I don't know what was the reason. If someone would like to share your feedback, or you'd like to share what are the things you have learned today, now you can raise your hand so that whoever is raising the hand, let me see what are the names come first for me. I'm going to let you talk so that you can share your feedback as well. So I could see Mr. Govind Kumar Jha. I'm going to allow you to talk, sir. You can unmute yourself and you can share your feedback. Mr. Govind, you can unmute yourself and you can speak. All right, if he's not ready, probably let me go to Mr. Rashid Sheikh.
Hello, sir. Good evening,
Yes,
sir.
you can speak, Mr. Rashid.
Good evening, sir.
Yes,
Hello?
you can share your experience and you can share your happiness. You can introduce yourself.
Excellent seminar, sir.
Thank you.
Never before attending this type of webinars are in my life. One day I learn a lot of knowledge, sir. Even I am ignoring also classes, sir. I'm concentrating in this webinar, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rashid.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Next, I'm going to let Mr. Khalil to speak. You can share your opinion and you can share your feedback, Khalil. One second.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You can speak, sir.
Hi. It's been an amazing session. I want to thank you, the organizers. It was so wonderful hearing the different speakers, their opinions, the new educational policies. So as an educational entrepreneur, it was a lot of things for me to learn. So I thank you very much, and I look forward to attend tomorrow and the coming day as well.
Sure. Thank you so much, Mr. Khalil.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let me unmute Mr. Priyanshu Kashyap. I'm going to allow you to speak or you can share your feedback. Yes, sir. Mr. Priyanshu, I have unmuted you. You can speak.
It's a very good seminar. This. Hello.
You can speak. We are able to hear you. You can speak.
Sir, good seminar.
One second. Let me put others on mute so that. All right, Priyanshu, you can speak. We can hear you, but your voice is a little low. If not, let me move on to the next person. I have Tusharika Gogoi. I'm going to unmute you. You can share your feedback.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, sir. This seminar is very good. This seminar excellent.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello, hello, sir. It's me, Tusharika.
Yes, Tusharika, you can share your feedback.
Good evening, everyone. It was a very amazing session I have ever attended, and really thankful to everyone, sir. And is it okay to if I fill up the feedback form now?
Yes, definitely. You can fill the feedback form. You can take some time. You can fill the feedback form for each speaker. You would have got the link in WhatsApp. All you need to do is just fill the feedback form for one speaker. And then once you submit it again, you can click one more response or you can click the link and you can do it for the next speaker. So we expect a feedback form for all the speakers. Okay.
Okay, sir. Definitely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Tusharika. All right. I have.
So, Tamir, sorry to cut you here. So we can ask some takeaways of today's sessions. So to people who are sharing their views.
Sure. That's the reason I'm just asking for the feedback because most of their voices are low. When they are going to share some technical content, people may not be able to listen to it. So I'm just checking whose voice is clear over there.
All right. Okay. Go ahead. Thank you.
All right. I have Dr. J. M. Paul's hands raised up. I'm letting you speak, sir. You can share your takeaways and you can share your feedback.
I'm audible?
Yes, sir. Perfect. Very clear.
So today's session, which is starting from Sahit Cholail, we got a lot of information regarding this artificial intelligence. And from there onwards, all the sessions were very good. You properly arranged, systematically arranged all these speakers. All are eminent speakers, and panel discussion was also very good. Now I want to appreciate you people. You very systematically you arranged this program, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Doctor. All right, next I have yes, Rajalakshmi. I'm unmuting you, ma'am. You can speak.
Yeah, sir. It's a very well coordinated. I'm Rajalakshmi from Chennai. It's a very well coordinated program. The first session itself was very interesting. I'm very new to this artificial intelligence, and what I take away is the messages. Based on that only, I have to plan everything in future. That is the main takeaway message for me. And remaining sessions also was very useful for us. And we're waiting for the.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. All right, I have Mr. Karthik Swami Shankar Devmani. I'm going to unmute you, sir. You can share your feedback and you can share your takeaways as well.
Very well coordinated webinar, sir. Hello.
Yes, Rajalakshmi ma'am, are you still there? I think your voice was breaking.
Yes. Yeah, I'm still there. Is it audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Continue, ma'am.
Yeah. So it's a very useful seminar for me, sir. The first session, the artificial intelligence, is very interesting, and we are going to plan our everything based on that only. That is my main thing. I've taken the main message, and the training session also very useful. And I'm waiting for the tomorrow sessions. Very useful one.
Thank you, ma'am. And those who are not able to come on audio feedback, please feel free to leave the feedback in the chat box. And all of this, those who are there, whoever I have unmuted you, I will request you. Once you have done with the feedback, you can mute yourself. Next, I'm going to unmute Dr. Ghanshyam. Has raised his hand. Let me allow him to speak.
Okay, Tamil, I'm taking care of the muting part, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, as of now, you can keep everyone else mute except the speaker who is going to speak now.
No, I'm saying like once they're done, I'll take care of the muting.
Dr. Ghanshyam, yes, sir, you can speak.
Yeah, I am audible?
Yes, sir, clear, sir.
Okay, sir. Myself, Dr. Ghanshyam. I am a professor as well as training and placement officer, BIT Central Government of Jharkhand, sir. It is a great moment for me to listen all the experts. And we know that learning is a continuous process. And it is the era to learn the skill. And starting from the session, it is started from the artificial intelligence, AI. And now in the era of the industry 4.2 revolution, all things automated, so the artificial intelligence is very important, is connected with 5G or the high speed, and everything is automated. And so we must know about coding and your Python, blockchain, big data, etc. And so there is one thing to be noted that the total job is in this COVID era, the total job maximum is shifted towards the agriculture sector, dairy sector, your we can say that is essential commodities, transportation, etc. So it is my humble request to you that in tomorrow's session try to include all these. How can our students will get job? Actually, in core sector, the job is reducing. It is my personal experience. But in IT sector, as well as agriculture sector, dairy sector, logistic, the jobs are open. So it is a great moment for me. We can say that is excellent, and learning is a continuous process. And my humble request to all the participants, mainly from the students, try to learn more and more skills. Thank you, sir, for nice coordination.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your detailed feedback. Definitely your points are noted. Thank you again.
And the takeaway is a domain of knowledge. Domain of knowledge.
Thank you, sir. Well rightly said. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
All right. Next, Galaxy A80 have been raising hand for quite a long time. I'm going to unmute you. First, I would request you to say your name and then start. Galaxy A80, I have unmuted you. Okay, for you, she's not ready. I'll move on to the next person. Okay, probably we'll have some 5 or 6 more participants sharing the feedback. And of course, I've already given the option if people are running short of time, the session is over. We just wanted to hear some more feedback from people who are here. All right, let me unmute Mr. Mohammed Niza. You can share your feedbacks and also you can share your takeaways. Mr.
Hello.
Mohammed? Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah. So the first session really gave a lot of insights into what is in store for us in the future. So it was really eye-opening for me. So it gave the message that we have to brace up. Obsoleteness is the biggest challenge in the new world. That is one takeaway. And all the other sessions gave us insights in different aspects of career building, especially in the context of India. It was well structured. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Mohammed Niza. All right, the last few participants, I'm going to unmute you. I have Mr. Sandeep Singh. You can share your feedback now, sir. And next, I'm going to Ms. Sangeeta Arora and Abhishek Chetri. Yes, Mr. Sandeep, you can share your feedback. I've given the access for you to speak. Maybe, yes. All right, I think you have.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. I could hear a lot of noise from your side. I'm sorry. I need to put you on mute. I could hear a lot of background noise from your side. And next, I'm allowing Sangeeta Arora to talk. You can share, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Yes. Hello.
Yes.
May I audible?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you. You can speak, ma'am.
Sir, from morning I have seen all the session. It is really very informative sessions. So the first session of Dr. Shahid is very more important than artificial intelligence. It is really an eye-opener for so many people. Thanks a lot for such a presentation and for arranging such a sessions. Thank you, sir.
Sure, ma'am. Sure. Thank you, ma'am. Please do join us for the second day as well. All right. And next, Mr. Karthik Shankar. Yes, you can speak now, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
So I'm Karthik Swami Devamani, a career counselor. I have been working last 9 years. Today I had excellent experience, nice learning, and especially Dr. Shahid sir about artificial learning. The session was so good, and I think this kind of session we should attend because we need to grow more, sir. And I think the presentation was very nice from morning to till evening, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Karthik. All right, I would like to hear from Jaya Rangarajan. You can speak, ma'am. And also let me unmute Mr. Abhishek. You can.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening. I'm Jaya Rangarajan, a life coach and a counselor, and also a consultant. This session was really a wonderful session, especially how the youngsters are going to face the world in the next 10 to 15 years, how they have to mold themselves. All the speakers have given wonderful, the tips for the parents as well as the students, how to mold themselves and how to face the world with the new artificial intelligence and other things. It was really an amazing sessions from the morning till the evening, waiting for tomorrow's session. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. All right, Mr. Abhishek, you can share your takeaways.
Hello.
Yes, your voice is pretty low. Probably you can speak a little louder.
Hello.
Yes, brother.
My name is Abhishek, and I'm a student from Siliguri. And I have joined the session from the morning. And as a student, I found the session to be quite informative about the current situation about how to cope with the COVID-19 situations. And I really found the sessions to be very interactive and very informative, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you for the sessions, and I'll be glad to join tomorrow as well. Thank you.
Sure. That's great to hear. Thank you so much. Looking forward to meeting you tomorrow.
Thank
All right,
you.
I'm going to unmute Ms. Sudha. I could see she was raising hand for quite a long time. I've unmuted you, ma'am. You can share.
Good evening, team. It's a great session. I was attending from the morning. Sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I am Sudha Damodran. I am a psychologist and international certified career coach and also certified life skills coach. Really, I was attending from the morning all the sessions. Really great session about the artificial intelligence about given by Dr. Shadi. Yeah, really, it's eye opener for everyone. The students mostly has to understand those things, and the parents also take mean about that, and they have to work throughout that. And also other speakers on multiple nature framework and emotional intelligence and writing skills for the future. Those speakers also very good. And two panel discussions. What a excellent panel discussions, and it was given a great knowledge for us. Really very thankful for the team and a good coordination, and went on the session without any break. Very good coordination. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We could really see how much happy you are and how much takeaways you have with your voice and the expression. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, I would like to unmute Mr. Avjit Pati. I'm going to unmute you. You can share your experience. Yes, I've given you the access.
Hello.
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, you can.
This is a very wonderful session, and I also attend all the session from morning to till now. And also, I eagerly waiting for the tomorrow session. Thank you for the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, Primanshu, sir.
Yes, Primanshu.
Sir, very interesting, sir. This seminar, I will be attend this meeting morning to evening, sir.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun doing this seminar, sir.
Great. That's great to hear that. Thank you, Primanshu.
He will be a seminar again tomorrow.
Yes, seminar is there tomorrow again. You can use the same link to join. You can join by 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Also, do invite your friends to share the links to your friends. They can also join.
Okay, sir. Okay. Always, sir. Sir, from Buddha Polytechnic Institute, Gaya, a student.
All right. Thank you so much, Primanshu. All right, last couple of participants, I'm going to unmute you, and because really we need to close the Zoom. It's been running since morning 9 o'clock, and I'm going to unmute Jaspreet Singh and then Mr. Amir Ali. Thank you so much. Thank you all for sharing your feedback.
A very good evening to one and all over there. I'm Dr. J.S. Oberoi. I'm professor in mechanical engineering. It's really a very interesting learning experience, especially one speaker which gave a presentation on emotional intelligence, which is a very relevant as far as these days are concerned. Apart from that, soft skills, panel discussions, it's really is interesting. I gained a lot of things. Aspects might be the same, but approach of learning is new. That's important. That's how we can also include our students and mentees how to cope up with the needs of the society in coming days. Thanks for such a seminar in which participants from Pan India is there. I attended all of the seminars and lectures. It's really interesting. And I congratulate the organizers for doing such and providing such a common platform for all of us. Thanks a lot.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. All right. We'll take one last person for the feedback. And once again, thank you each and everyone for staying back and sharing your feedback. I'll request Mr. Amir Ali Sheikh to share his
Hello.
feedback. Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello. So I'm attending this. I'm Amir Ali Sheikh. So from Bangalore, Jayanagar. Okay, so Dr. Amanullah Khan referred me this webinar, and from morning, I'm on this webinar and gaining a lot of knowledge which I have not gained, in previous days, and I have got to know all the new stuff, and I have a plan in my mind which is going on, like as the discussion is going on, forward. There are a lot of things which I have gained, and coming 2-3 days, inshallah, I'll be there first to join the webinar, and I liked all the topics which we spoke on it, especially how to come up in the education level. It's very wonderful.
Sure. Thank you so much, Mr. Amir. And thanks to Dr. Amanullah for inviting you for such a great webinar.
Yes.
All right. Yes. Thank you all once again. Have a lovely day. Meet you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. with the same link. MC Thamurasan signing off for the 3G commune and also 3G IRPS.
Hello.
Yes, Mr.
Yeah,
Amir.
I have one question. Actually, I have I paid for the certificate. So, like, how will I be getting it?
You mean you have made the payment, or you have?
Yeah, I have made the payment.
All right, we'll be in touch with you in WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay.
So you have a number anyway. You can just leave a message in the WhatsApp saying the same thing, and
Okay.
we'll be in touch with you.
Okay, sure.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you everyone. We are going to close the Zoom and have a great time. And those who have been watching this from YouTube as well, thank you so much. We are really sorry that we are not able to communicate with you. However, tomorrow once you log in, I would request you, preferably you can first try for the Zoom login. In case you don't have,
Join the mission, build India to serve. Join the mission, build India to serve the world.
Join the mission and build India to serve the world.
Join the mission, build India to serve the world.
Join the mission, build India to serve the world.